I'm just looking around my surroundings.
Started looking around, expecting for some man to walk up on her because she was lonely.
I look to the left. I see a black man with a white woman. I look to the right. I see a black man with a white woman.
Don't forget to mention you started hating. Let's keep continuing.
What do I see? What do I notice all at the bar? Single black women. So it got me to thinking. And don't get me wrong, I don't have an issue with interracial dating. I don't. That's not what this is about.
Yes, you do, and yes, it is. Stop it.
Have black men totally given up on black women?
Black men have totally given up on masculine black women. Understand the difference. Understand the difference, because what you're producing as a woman may not be, it's not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be more feminine if you want to attract a masculine man. If you want a man in your life, you have to be feminine. Take yourself into a mental hospital or therapy or whatever the think you need, because right now, bro, ma'am, lady, all I'm hearing is complaining. You talking about black men being with white women and dude, that's their life.
The brother ain't lying at all. At all. What we're hearing from our sisters is a constant complaint fest. And that's what we're going to get into today, my friends. This argument never ceases to amaze me. Yes, I'm married to a white woman, British white woman. 20 years. I've known her for 22 years. Yes, I've dated black women in the past. Yes, I have 5 black sisters. Yes, I'm from the Caribbean. Yes, I have witnessed women from all around the world. I am qualified to talk about this subject. Yes, my friends, welcome back to another session with the older man. So today we're going to talk about, and this one triggered me simply because I met a young Indian woman today who's actually visiting Dubai, and she's from New Zealand. And here's the thing. So, of course, I just always asked, are you single? Because she wasn't bad looking, you know. And she said, yes. I said, oh, okay. I can see that she's hitting her late 20s. And I said, so what happened? Why are you single? She says, oh, it's just not happening for me. It's just not happening. And she literally sounded like she had just given up, like it wasn't in the cards. Like literally that was her words. It's just not in the cards. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And I said, this is what I do. I help people with relationships. And she's like, really? Okay. Then she said, well, I don't know if you can help me because I'm from India. I said, yeah, well, relationships are relationships regardless of where they are. And then she proceeded to tell me that, India has some very unique qualities about us. And I said, yeah, most cultures do. But in essence, core tenets behind all relationships is being able to get along with the opposite sex. And really, there is no big differences when it comes to the way males and females operate. The biggest problem that we're having in all societies is the infiltration of feminism. I said, that is a big problem in your country right now. She started to push back in the sense that, it was really bad when, the traditional way where the men controlled the woman because the woman never had money. The woman never went out and earned their own money, so a lot of the men were abusive. I said, really? A lot? I said, you probably heard of the woman who got abused, but I can assure you, most of the women weren't abused. The ones that were abused, those are the ones that shout the loudest. That's why you heard them. This is the same thing we've seen played out on the internet. The reason why the society is so bad now is because the people who have the bad agendas, they're the one that's shouting the loudest. I said, you think the conservative view on relationships in Africa is any different from the conservative views in America? You think they're any different? I said, no, they were both conservative views, which was the men go out and work and the women stayed home and took care of the kids and took care of the home. Isn't that the same thing in India? Yes. I said, and now, and do you not think that that's the same thing in Africa, China, Japan? Everywhere in the world, it's the same thing. So traditionally, we have all played the same gender roles around the entire globe. And the reason why it's like that in every single country around the globe, even though we've never interacted with each other, is because that was the most efficient and effective way to build a society. Can women go out and do male work? Yes. But was it an efficient use of the woman's time? No. Can men stay at home and actually take care of the kids and do the farming and pull the weeds and do all the nice stuff and create a home? Yes, he can. Is that the most efficient use of his time? The answer is no. It was only until feminism raised its ugly head and said, stop it. These are only gender roles. So what? Women can do that as well. We want to do that. And I said to her, this is the reason why we have problems in relationships all over the world. It's the same infiltration of this massive push to get women into the workplace and to convince women that that should be their primary role. And she had to agree. I said, so there's no difference between India, Africa, America, Alaska. It doesn't matter. The relationship problems are the same. She said, okay, I understand. And so now that you've heard that rant and it should be clear in your head, ladies, we now understand why we're here. But regardless of why we're here, we are here and women are still freaking complaining, especially the black community, because the black women in our society are some of the most masculine women out there, because they're the ones that fell for the whole, I'm a strong, independent woman, I don't need no man. They're the ones that fell for that narrative more than any other race of women. And that is the reason why they're the lowest of the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to dating choices, to the point where their own men choose not to marry them.
Why do you believe that most white women marry up and, minorities, black women marry up?
Because white women have been trained by their mothers to marry up. The man is supposed to take care of you. The man is the head of the household, where a lot of times, a lot of our sisters have been told that black men ain't shit. You feel what I'm saying? I can do it for myself. I made it on my own.
Do you think that is why in society it is sometimes deemed the angry black woman is more masculine, whereas you see a lot of brothers getting with white women because they're more submissive?
Did you see the NBA draft class this year? It's a bunch of high yellow brothers like me and him in that class. So what you think? Absolutely.
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. I love that expression. If you look at the statue in New York City right now.
Y'all mad about that statue up in New York, but a lot of your mamas look like that. Like, a lot of y'all aunts look like that. Like, when I saw that statue, I legitimately looked at it and I was like, Mary? Like, I legit thought somebody, did that with my aunt.
Hey, it's me, the statue, in the middle of Times Square. Although I do really appreciate y'all putting me in the middle of Times Square, y'all could have did me, a better look. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is my go to the grocery store look. You know what I'm saying?
You are average. You average just like that statue. Y'all are delusional. This statue controversy really showed how y'all don't really know what y'all look like. Y'all really be putting in somebody else's hair and forgetting what you look like. For some reason, you think you some Puerto Rican mommy, but you just an average looking black woman too. All right? You put on that makeup and you forget what you look like when you wake up in the morning. That's what you look like. It's not when you add the lashes, the foundation, the liner, the lip gloss. That's not what you look like. What you look like is what you look like in your natural state before you put on the uniform. Before you put on all the stuff. When you don't have none of that stuff on, you're a average looking person.
It's the perfect image of the current state of black women. And the reason why so many black women are pissed off at it is because it shows the black woman in her rawest form. Her natural hair. You can see that she'd have no lashes. She's obese. She's overweight. And the problem is a lot of black women don't want to see the reflection of themselves. They only want to see the made-up version of themselves, but not realizing that the black man has to see her in her rawest form, which is that statue. And that's what the black man do not want. He do not want a hyena, a big, aggressive individual who's going to bust his balls every single time he walks through the door. That's what black men have to deal with.
Why do black women feel so hurt when we see our black men with white women? Ladies.
I don't like to use the word hurt because I feel that puts too much weight on it. Personally, I am not that sad or affected when I see a black man with a woman of another race, unless he's very fine. And she is not what I really think is, a good match. But I do question a lot of their choices because...
Isn't that unreal? She's only upset when the white woman or any other race is taking the man that she wants. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's so unbelievable how solipsism amongst the female race is so egregious, out there, in your face. It was a general question. I don't see it. In other words, it's all about just how I think. They cannot see for everyone else. They cannot generalize and look at the issues that are facing the entire society. That is a selfish nature that we need to stop with. Ladies, you need to stop that. We need to look at the society on a whole.
I think it hurts me as well, only because I see black partnership as a black investment back into our communities. And when you look at our families, the first person you love is your uncle or your father. And you see this example of black men and black women loving each other. And to think that a black man maybe went through his life without wanting to build that same type of family. It can be very hurtful. And I do think there is this overarching belief that a lot of us are dating and marrying outside of our race. So far, I think it's 89% of the current men who are married are still married to black women, but that does not acknowledge how that statistics has evolved over time, because these new brothers,
the new niggas,
they ain't doing what your daddy was doing back in the day. They on a new wave, which is a lot of times dating outside their race.
Because black women have gotten progressively worse. It's gotten to the point where you're unbearable. And men aren't taking that chance. Black men are no longer taking the chances with black women. This is what you ladies got to understand.
It's hard sometimes with conversations like these, and I think a reason a lot of black women don't even like to talk about it publicly is because, like you said, you don't want to be labeled as angry or desperate. And I know personally, I don't want to frame my whole life around the fact of whether or not some black man opts to choose me or not. But I think it's valid to be able to say this is how we feel, because we're already black women that exist in a world where we are not considered the standard of beauty. And then to have, the men that look like you and the men that you, like you said, you loved your uncles and your fathers and your brothers, and these men that you grow up thinking that you're going to choose and they're going to choose you back, are getting the same message that their sisters and moms and cousins are great, but that's not who they're going to or necessarily choose or think are beautiful. So it's,
ladies, you got to understand how screwed up your minds are, because you all are in a bubble with each other. The beauty standards are not set by men. The beauty standards are set by you all. We have been screaming for decades, we want our natural woman back. We want our natural woman back. You're not listening to men when it comes to beauty standards. We keep telling you we don't want the weaves, we don't want the lashes, we don't want the nails. All of that money you guys could be saving, tens of thousands of dollars per year, could be saved by you, because men don't want it. We don't want it, but you keep delivering it. It is not our beauty standard, it's yours.
Girlies, is it just me, y'all? Because every time I get my makeup done, I feel like it has to take it a little time to sit in. I need 4 or 5 hours for me to start liking it. Is it too much, y'all? Should I take some off? What y'all think?
What you're ignoring and what you fail to keep mentioning is that it's your attitude that we don't like. The freaking attitude. This sense of I need to be in charge. I am superior to you. I don't need a man. You ain't shit. That is what we don't like. Has nothing to do with your looks. We want our natural women back. We keep harping on it and you don't listen. It's unreal when I listen to these women just echo each other back and forth. Yeah, true. Ha, yeah. Ask a man. Get a freaking man on your panel and then ask him what he wants. Not one of these freaking beta men that are catering to you. Men that will tell you the truth.
Gee, let me guess. Another movie about a struggling black woman that can hardly make ends meet and doing the best she absolutely can to get by. Oh look, more pictures of a black woman in distress. Probably her getting laid off from her no good dead end job on the right, and her dealing with being a single mother here on the left. And I can almost guarantee it's going to be some light-skinned man at the end of the film that wants to be her man, wants to provide for her. She gets her life together. She marries the light-skinned man, and they live happily ever after. Tyler Perry makes the same movie over and over and over and over again. His whole catalog is black women in distress, period. There's nothing to his movies except a black woman in distress every time. And he has become a billionaire off of displaying black women in distress in every situation.
Yeah, guess what? Just like the statue in New York City, you've heard the expression, art imitates life. Artists pulls on life and they display it, whether it's in a statue or whether it's in a movie. The reality of it is the majority of black women are struggling. A lot of black women are overweight. Art in the middle of Times Square. A lot of black women are living paycheck to paycheck. They spend their money on dumb shit. Even the ones that have college degrees have gotten stupid college degrees. A large majority of them are single moms. How can you be a single mom working a full-time job and expect not to struggle? Regardless of what job you have, you're going to be struggling. Because just trying to juggle between school, daycare, and at work on a daily basis and keeping the boss happy is a struggle. The majority of black women are single and in that position. So when art imitates life, the mirror goes up and it triggers black women. Look at this black woman here.
Enough eligible black males who fit the needs of black women. So black women are excelling. They're getting accelerated degrees, graduate degrees, doctorate degrees. They're starting businesses. Black women are running circles around men.
A few moments later.
The Trump administration has announced we will put an end to Joe Biden's illegal student loan bailout attempts. No student loan has been referred to collection since March of 2020.
Y'all, they about to garnish our wages. As of May 5th, they're taking 15% of your wages towards student loans. Y'all, I've been ignoring student loans since I've been in school. If y'all know how much I owe in student loan, y'all would think I went to school to be a lawyer.
So let me get this straight. I'm independent. I don't need a man. I'm educated. These men are intimidated by a strong woman. After 5 years of not paying their student loan debt back, they have to pay it back. Any woman that is educated cannot throw their education in a man's face if she has not paid back her student loan.
Yeah, there you go. Reality of it is where people are saying, yeah, what do you expect? Ask the landlord how he feels when he don't get his rent and he can't pay his bills and he can't take care of his family. Ask him how he feels.
Why do you feel like men, especially NBA players, get with the white women? Is it because they're easy, quote unquote?
I got some theories, but I really want to hear it from you.
I do too. I want to hear it too.
I honestly think that maybe they appreciate maybe more and they apologize more.
Listen, I'm scared. Hold on. No. Hold on.
I mean, you know.
I had an interview with
they don't mind being held accountable.
So Paul Pierce, I'm guessing, is like an ex-NBA player, going to say that he thinks that ball players or black men in general prefer white women because they are not afraid to be held accountable and they apologize. Are we talking about the same clear women that yelled grape in the movie Rosewood because her husband was beating her up and down the street and she was tired, so she blamed one of you niggas?
Yeah, there we go. The common playbook. They will find one, two, couple of freaking white women or other races of women who do black men bad, and then make that the poster child for all black men having to leave any other race of woman alone. This is just common in the female playbook. It's not only black women. But the problem is we're talking about my race of people, right? My sisters, listen, you cannot take these examples and not look at yourselves. You have to focus on making yourselves better women in order to freaking attract your men. Because no other races of men are coming for you. This is the problem that you all don't see.
If you are a stand-up black man with a private page right now, if you have a private page right now and you are a stand-up black man and you are somebody's husband, you are somebody's leader, you are somebody's father that they can depend on, you got your pants up, you got a belt on, you got a good, a good decent routine every day to take care of your family, I need for you to make content now. The reason why I need for you to make content is because the internet is oversaturated with a bunch of emotional weirdos. The internet is oversaturated, okay, with a bunch of black men up here that act like children. I need for you to make content. Some of these young black men need y'all. And it need to be more than just women that stand on business. I need for y'all to stand on business. I got a brother in my DM right now. Saying that he don't want to post because he want to keep his identity private. Why? We are at a time where now we need more voices like me. We need people that's gonna lead. We're tired of the fucking Umar Johnsons. We're tired of these ninjas. We tired of them. We tired of these hypocrites. We need men to the forefront, please. We need y'all. Stop being scared to make content. Stop.
And I'm trying to encourage men, married men, men who are just normal guys, your average dude. And that's why I've actually started these group videos right now, because I want women to hear normal men speak. And you know what? I hate saying that word, like normal men, because it's hard to define what normal is for the internet. Because part of the internet is entertainment. The Omar Johnsons, the fresh and fit guys, these are the people who understand how to entertain, to keep people engaged. Your average guy, man, he's not into that. I'm not that entertainer. I'm not an entertainer. But I still have to have a certain amount of flair. I still had to learn how to express myself. Yeah, I want more men like me who are married, who have something intelligent to express with young men. But I'm not the exciting guy. That's the difference. I'm not that guy that's friggin' out there throwing out these witty comments and shit that will to get people to share it and get engagement at that level. See, this is the world that we're in. We are in a world of entertainment where the average dude, the guy, the solid dude, the gentleman of the world, we don't need to be public. We don't need it. So those men, stay quiet. I don't need to do this stuff. But for me, I just feel like I need to contribute something back to society before I leave this earth. And I think a lot of men should start looking at it like that. You want to get started? Guys, let me know. Because I know a lot of you are following me. I can see the stats. So there's one more that sort of popped out at me. This one here.
The majority of you said you want a whole man in your life who can provide, keep, and protect, right? So here's the question. How can you have one when you get up every day trying to be the best man you can be?
Nope. I hope y'all are ready to call me or pick me in the comments, but I'm finna speak from a perspective that's gonna help y'all out here. Okay. Because this is the problem that I have. Stop hearing from your emotional ears and actually hear what's being said. I understand that the word choice was probably poor.
No, they weren't poor. He said what he said. Women get up and they come out here looking to be the men that they want. They're acting masculine. Our black sisters were told that they should be strong and independent. A lot of them have concluded that they should be like men. That's what feminism have done. You don't need a man. You become the man. That's all the brother's saying. Let's hear a little bit more what she says.
But what he is saying is there are certain characteristics, certain behaviors that a woman may display. We just had a woman that was just talking about being alpha. Let me hit that first. Stop telling people that you alpha, because I don't think y'all understand what that personality actually really is and what it comes with. Alpha is not you just being strong. You're being resistant. You're not collaborative when it comes to conflict. You have low perspective taking. So when we have conversations like this, if we want to actually stop the damn gender war, and excuse me if I get passionate, we have to be able to hear both sides right now. If there is a woman, because I deal with couples all the time and I see this, and this is a big problem, and this is why men don't speak on it because they can't be heard on this. If you have a woman who is in a male-dominated field and she has to use most of her masculine traits, sometimes it is hard to turn it off at home. Even if she's not in a relationship, even in her own home, sometimes it's hard to turn it off. I deal with lawyers, I deal with women who are in analytical spaces all the time. And because their brains are still going, when they even get in their own space, they don't get to actually resonate in their feminine energy as we always talk about. They don't get to pull up their feminine traits because they're constantly having to go. They're not practicing mindfulness and stuff like that. So when they do get into a relationship, it becomes something that is so ingrained. It becomes a default mode that they go in. And if you don't understand default modes and default strategies, you won't understand this conversation. There are some women who do go into these defaults and it automatically turns on. It's not on purpose. A lot of it is unconscious. Yes, I may say to myself, I want a man who can allow me to be feminine and provide this space. But if I am always in default mode, even if this man comes, I may still resist him. If I'm constantly having to be in my masculine in work and stuff like that in home, and I haven't learned how to turn it off, he's going to face the masculine side of me.
Yeah, and there lies the problem. She just summed it up nicely. Our black women are defaulting to their masculine self. And it's not like they can turn it off. They have become that. That's who they are. And most men, when they look at the black woman, all he sees is another man. It has nothing to do with this whole idea of beauty standards. This is how you skirt around any sort of accountability. It is your behavior. It is your masculine behavior. It is your rejection of your own men. It is your push for superiority. It is this constant fight to be in charge and to lead. You're outside of your natural order. You want a man, I've said it many times, you want a man who's a leader, but you don't want to follow. The definition of a leader is that you're going to follow him, but you'll find every excuse to tear that man down in order for you to take the position. That's the MO of the average black woman, especially in the Western Hemisphere. And that is simply due to feminism. The minute you get a higher degree, the minute you get a promotion at work, you start making more money in the business, you start to smell yourself, so to speak. In other words, get out of order. And then your man becomes less than you, and then the disrespect, the infidelity starts, and then eventually the divorce. Because you don't mind being a single mom, because that's what you've been conditioned to think.
Son, your father or your husband?
My son. I'm putting my son first, my father, then my husband.
My son, and then my daddy, and then my husband.
My son.
And then who?
My father, then my husband.
Why the husband last? Let me know something.
Because regardless if me and him together or not, my daddy and my son gonna be there, so fuck it.
Son and husband, or my son, my husband, then my daddy.
My son, my father, and my husband, yeah.
Okay, why y'all put husband last? Let me know something.
I love my daddy and I love my son. Okay.
I birthed my son, why wouldn't he be first? And my daddy, like, man, that's my daddy, come on. You my husband.
Husband, son, father. I feel like if I get married, my husband is supposed to be like the head of the house. That's supposed to be, the leader or whatever.
And you have never seen nuclear families growing up. So single momship is perfectly okay for you. That's what we're dealing with in the black community. I'm just calling it out, man. How do you solve it? Get off your high horses. Find an average guy on your level. Take off the makeup. Take off the freaking Wolverine nails. Take off the fake eyelashes. Stop with the BBL. Save your money. Work with a man, an average man on your level. Find him. Work with him. Submit yourself. He will lead and you follow accordingly. You work with your man. Nothing else to it. So, my friends, I'm going to leave it there. Listen, these things happen in all races of people, but I prefer to speak on my race. I leave it up to the Indians to talk about their problems in their race. I can talk about it in general, but in reality, there are the nuances that occur in their culture that they should talk about. Same with the white man, same with the Asian men, okay? That's just the way it is. This channel isn't just for black people, but because of my race, I have to use it as an analogy and as a yardstick to display the problems in our community, and so other communities can see it as well. So, my friends, subscribe, hit the like button. Please, that's, if anything you can do more than anything else, you don't even have to subscribe. Just hit the like button. If the two is too much work, just hit the like button. That will tell the algorithm to push it out to more and more people. All right? So until tomorrow, my friends, remember, whenever in doubt, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. You know what? Go and look at some of my older videos, like way back a year ago. There's some good stuff there as well. Okay? I'll see you soon. Cheers.